Dave's there. Good evening and welcome to TV 16 News Live at 5. Today is Monday, April 12th, 2010. I'm Sarah Chabon.
And I'm Joshua Cole-Little. Coming up on Live at 5, a Searcy woman advertises herself on Craigslist. And
Harding University celebrated a barefoot festival to raise money for shoes. We'll have all that for you and more, but first, let's take a quick look at weather with Zach Green.
It was another sunny and warm day today across much of Arkansas, and most places reached it into the 80s. As we can take a look at our evening planner, that's what you can expect when you're going home tonight. 80 degrees temperatures for most of the area and sunny skies. We'll have more in your forecast later in the news. TV 16 News starts right now.
A Searcy woman is arrested for selling herself over the internet. 32-year-old Rebecca Donovan posted an ad on Craigslist asking for a sugar daddy. Detectives replied to the ad and received several explicit photos from Donovan. Authorities say she was asking for prescription pain medication as payment instead of cash. White County Sheriff's Department are following up with a 2-week investigation. Donovan is being held at the White County Detention Facility on a $5,000 bond.
And the Arkansas Supreme Court issued a stay of execution for Bentonville man convicted of murder. 47-year-old Don William Davis was convicted for the 1990 shooting death of Jane Daniel. Prosecutors say Davis stole a gun from one of Daniel's neighbors' homes. Then he used to kill Daniel after breaking into her home. Davis was arrested in Las Vegas, and the revolver was found after a search of his home in Bentonville. The State Department of Corrections says justices intervened amid a question over whether the legislature properly left execution policies in the hands of prison officials.
And if you were driving through Little Rock last night or this morning, you may have noticed a plume of thick black smoke. North Little Rock fire officials were busy fighting a fire at the Tenenbaum Recycling Center on West Bethany Road. TV 16 reporter Stephen Goodale joins us in the studio now with more information. Stephen?
Hey Josh, that's right. At 3:30 Sunday afternoon, workers with the Tenenbaum Recycling Group notified North Little Rock fire officials that a pile of cars they were working to shred had caught fire. When the fire crews arrived, they found a pile of cars fully engulfed. The plume of smoke could be seen for miles. This picture was taken on Interstate 40 near the I-40-I-30 interchange. Firefighters from the East Pulaski County and Scott Fire Departments were brought in to assist with trucking water in to help fight the fire. Lieutenant Mark Shoemaker with the North Little Rock Fire Department said that because the fire was so deep-seated, that it was difficult for firefighters to get water down to the fire. The fire burned overnight and was extinguished around noon, burning for over 20 hours. Fire officials don't suspect foul play and say the fire could have been caused by a spark igniting oil and gas fumes. Lieutenant Shoemaker told me that the North Little Rock Fire Department is investigating the cause and will issue an official finding in the coming days. Reporting live from the studio, Stephen Goodale, TV 16 News.
Thanks, Stephen. A woman is killed after failing to yield at a train crossing. Craighead County authorities say the woman collided with a Union Pacific train at the intersections of Highway 226 and 349 on Friday. The woman's car was pushed more than a mile down the tracks after the impact. Police have not released the name of the victim. Union Pacific and authorities are still investigating the crash.
A Benton alderman wants to deter sex offenders from moving into his city. Alderman Brad Monroe of Benton has proposed that all sex offenders place permanent signs in their lawns. The signs would then make it apparent to those in the area that a sex offender lives in the home. His proposal is in efforts to make residents of Benton aware of sex offenders in the neighborhood. His proposal is in the early stages and has received mixed responses from the community.
And a charter school is being shut down. The State Board of Education has voted to shut down the School of Excellence Charter School in Humphrey, Arkansas. The director of the school, Vicki Wilson, told the Board of Education about a criminal investigation and how the school is having problems with paying bills. There are 40 students currently enrolled in the school.
Over 200 Harding University students participated on the front lawn going barefoot for a cause. Tom's One Day Without Shoes inspired Harding students to make a change and to create their own festival.
We caught up with some Harding students who were inspired to make their own barefoot festivities on the front lawn. Students met to take part in the barefoot activities. Zachary Daggett organized the event.
Basically what we're doing is we're trying to raise awareness about what it's like to go without shoes. But in part with that, we're trying to raise money for the kids in El Salvador. The Jesus Project takes care of. They have to take care of about 250 kids, and they're going to try to provide shoes for as many of them as possible.
Many students enjoyed bearing their souls, including Whitney Lawson and Nick Parker, who told us why they participated.
I'm here because it's the Barefoot Festival, and one, I just think it's really cool to have a day where barefoot lovers can just walk around barefoot and nothing's wrong with that.
We're going to try to understand a little bit about what it feels like to not have shoes for all the people in the world that don't have shoes.
There was foot painting, refreshments, live music, and many put their footprints on a poster to mark the event.
When we come back, we'll give you the details on the Nuke Summit.
And find out which public school could feature the president as the caliber speaker for their graduation. Stay with us.
I'm a mommy. I love kids. I'm responsible, loving, nurturing. Ow! Just don't break anything! Play nice! No, don't touch that!
Aren't you going to do something?
I could use a little compassion. Stop! Being a parent's a lot of work.
You don't have to be perfect
Where's mommy?
to be a perfect parent.
Here I am.
Vice President Joe Biden says the world doesn't need any more nuclear weapons. He spoke at a luncheon in Washington where world leaders are gathered for a summit on safeguarding nuclear material.
The President of the United States has committed our country to seek peace and security of the world without nuclear weapons. We believe that is ultimately an achievable goal, and that is our goal. The one thing we can all agree on, I hope, is that adding more nuclear weapons or more nuclear weapon states is the exact wrong approach at this moment in the world's history. One that endangers the entire community of nations where we allow it to happen. We can also agree, I hope, that controlling all nuclear materials that can produce a bomb is in the interest of every one of us gathered around this table and everyone in the world. There are hundreds of tons of nuclear material scattered over 40 countries, including the United States of America and many of the countries here. And just 50 pounds of high purity uranium, smaller than a soccer ball, could destroy the downtown of all our capital cities and kill tens, if not hundreds of thousands of individuals. So it's very much in our interest to gain control. This is the horrific threat that we all face together, and one that we are determined we will defeat together.
New Orleans police are still investigating the official cause of Saturday's shooting on Canal Street in the French Quarter. At the time, 7 people were believed to have been injured. During the past 2 days, police have discovered an eighth victim. The victim, age 15, was treated for gunshot wounds at a local hospital and was released. The shooting occurred a little after 9 Saturday night. Police believe that 1 or 2 young men opened fire in an attempt to hit a 17-year-old that they had an altercation with on Mardi Gras Day.
When it comes to graduation ceremonies, the caliber of the speaker can really run the gamut. Some schools might get a local politician, while others might get a famous alumnus. But 6 U.S. high schools are competing for the chance to welcome what might be the ultimate graduation speaker, the President of the United States. Beth Vaughn got the reaction from students at a Kansas school that's in the run for the big get.
A sigh of relief as the competition thickens.
We started it, and I want to finish it. I want to see it all the way to the end.
Cody Cutter produced the 2-minute video that helped Blue Valley Northwest High School reach the finals. This part of the Race to the Top High School Commencement Challenge.
How it would be successful for college grads, and then how it incorporates everyone in the school, how it gets kids engaged, and then how it's a successful model for other high schools.
The prize, a cap and gown, a diploma, and perhaps the chance to see the president.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so insane.
Yeah, euphoric, I think.
This group of 6 students isn't alone in the excitement.
I hope the kids' dreams come true. I hope that they get what they want. If they want to see this through and put the production together, that it happens, and that we have Obama here.
Another video, this one 3 minutes long, is due in just a few weeks. The White House is sending a production company to each of the finalist schools.
Trying to level the playing field a little bit for other schools who might not be as lucky as us with the broadcast technology we have here.
Voting on the White House webpage will decide the top 3 schools. Then President Obama picks the winner.
Even though we're Kansas and we're the Republican state, you know, there's that political issue, but I just think we all work really, really hard, and I think this is kind of something that pays off a little bit for us.
Politics aside, the group is just happy to highlight the hard work of the Huskies.
Blue Valley Northwest is now facing off against schools from Ohio, Colorado, California, Michigan, and Florida. Only one of those schools is also a public school.
Polish President Kaczynski, his wife, and some of the country's top military and civilian leaders were killed in a plane crash on Saturday. The Russian-built plane was trying to land in heavy fog in western Russia when it went down. Russian emergency officials say 97 people on board were killed. CNN has the latest.
The Tupolev 154 was attempting to land in heavy fog at Smolensk in western Russia. The Russian Air Force says when the aircraft was 1.5 kilometers from the airstrip, air traffic controllers determined that its rate of descent was too steep and too quick. They say they told the aircraft to pull up. It didn't. They say they also advised the aircraft to abort the landing altogether and make for another airport. It didn't do that either.
The Russian plane was diverted by air traffic control to a different airport due to the worsening weather conditions. The Polish Tu-154 with the Polish president on board was informed of the weather and was advised to divert to a different airport. The crew decided to land, and this does not go against international practice because the final decision is made by the captain. The air traffic control officer gave several orders to divert, but the plane continued with its descent. Unfortunately, this ended in tragedy.
In Poland, Prime Minister Donald Tusk has said the Polish state must and will continue to function. Under the constitution, the duties of the president now fall to the Speaker of the Polish Parliament. A new presidential election must be held within 60 days. Phil Black, CNN, London.
Recovery crews are working in a West Virginia coal mine today, hoping to bring out the last 9 bodies of the miners who died in the explosion last week. Authorities redirected airflow in the mine to decrease gas levels that had impeded recovery efforts on Sunday. 13 bodies were removed Sunday, and rescue teams re-entered the mine around midnight. A total of 29 miners died in the explosion. While a state and federal investigation began immediately after the blast, officials cannot fully study the conditions inside until the bodies are removed. The mining disaster was the worst in the United States since 1972, when 91 miners died in a fire at Sunshine Mine in Kellogg, Idaho. And now let's take a check in weather with Zach Green. Zach?
One of the first things you might have noticed when you stepped outside today, besides the warm temperatures, was the pollen and the allergies. And if we can take a look at that right now. The tree was very high today, mainly the oak and the pine, and then the mold and the grass were moderate for all the allergy sufferers out there. And we'll tell you how long the pollen count will be this high and more in the forecast coming up.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Fred.
Rad! Hey pal, you want to pay attention to the road?
Relax, man, I got it.
Look, my man, if your bad driving gets me killed, you better hope you die too, or I will haunt you silly. And I'm not just gonna float over your bed like, woo! I'm gonna be making a more annoying noise, like, ah! And instead of wearing those long white robes, I think I'll wear something more form-fitting and upsetting. The other ghosts will look and be like, wow, we've never seen that before.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Start off, we'll take a look at the weather headlines. As sunny and warm was the case for today across much of Arkansas. And then the high pollen count, that'll stick around for most of this week. And the nice weather will continue into Friday. And then the weekend, we could start seeing some rain chances, maybe late Friday, but more likely into Saturday. And so if we take a look at the almanac, the low today was 45 and the high was 81, about 7 degrees from the record in 1972 of 88 degrees. The low was about 13 degrees off the average and the high was about 9 degrees off the average. And if we take a look at the rainfall, almost 5.5 inches thanks to that rain we got last Wednesday. And now if we can take a look at the surface map, we can see not much really going on in our region in Arkansas. But if we can take a look at this front, that's mainly keeping the rain up in the upper Midwest. And then these low pressure systems in this cold front, this will slowly make its way across the Four Corners area and into Oklahoma, and then eventually into Arkansas and affecting us maybe Friday, maybe Saturday. And then now if we can look at your current temperatures, we can see that's 85 in West Memphis, 81 here in Searcy, 78 in Fayetteville, 78 in Mount Ida, and 80 in Texarkana. And again, current conditions, 81 degrees here in Searcy, dew point at 45, humidity at 28%, and a light wind from the southeast at about 8 miles an hour. And so what can you expect for tonight? Clear skies, 55 degrees, a pleasant spring night with calm winds about southeast, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then for your morning commute, it's going to be sunny again with temperatures in the 50s across most of the Arkansas. And then for your Tuesday, sunny skies again, 82 degrees with the warm weather, but continues, but also that high pollen count continues, and the winds are going to be out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now if we can take a look at your 5-day forecast, 80 degrees almost every day except for Saturday. Saturday had to ruin it for us. 75 on Saturday, so 80s most of the week for your highs and mid-50s for your lows. Now if we can go over to Rachel for a look at sports.
0. Find out the meaning of that number for the Bison baseball team after the break.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool, really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Brahms!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
None, nada, zip, zilch, nothing. Why am I saying that so many times? Because that's the total of how many runs Harding had in their 3-game series against Henderson State this weekend. 0. The opener was scoreless until the 4th inning when Henderson State plated 6 runs, 3 of them unearned, off of Harding pitcher Kyle Klein. The worst moment of the inning was a bases-loaded triple by the Reddies. An error and a passed ball was added to the unearned runs. In Game 2, Henderson State scored 2 in the 3rd inning on a 2-run single and added 2 more in the 4th. One scored on a wild pitch and the other from an RBI single. In Game 3, even though the offensive side of the Bisons was fairly ugly, Harding had a strong showing from pitcher Troy Keith, who went 6 innings, allowing only 2 earned runs on 7 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 5. In the 3-game series, the Bisons had a total of only 9 hits. Final scores of Harding 0, Henderson State 9, Harding 0, Henderson State 4, Harding 0, Henderson State 6. The losses make the Bisons 20 of 22 for the season and 5-9 in conference. Henderson State moved up to 4th in the GSC West Division standings to be tied with Ouachita Baptist, while Harding remains at 5th place. Remember, only the top 4 teams make it to the conference tournament. The Bisons are back at bat tomorrow in Walnut Ridge for a non-conference doubleheader against Williams Baptist. Earlier this season, Harding swept Williams Baptist in a doubleheader. The Harding men's and women's track and field teams brought home a total of 9 titles from this weekend's Hendrix College Invitational. Tiffany Chambers won her 2nd straight pole vault with a leap of 9 feet 6 1/4 inches. Rhiannon Roper also marked her 2nd straight win in discus with a throw of 111 feet and 11 inches. Dia Gibson captured 1st in the high jump with 5 feet 2 1/4 inches. Callie McAllister marked a personal best as well as a 1st place finish with her long jump of 16 feet 5 inches. And Stephanie Zibileski won her title with a personal best javelin throw of 108 feet 11 inches. Meanwhile, in the men's competition, Matt Voss brought home 2 titles, his first collegiate career victories, with wins in the 110-meter hurdles in 16.86 seconds and in the 400-meter hurdles in 56.74 seconds. Corey Howard captured his first career event championship in the 400-meter race in 49.5 seconds, and Victor Moya won the triple jump title with a leap of 41 feet 5.75 inches. The track and field teams will be in action again this weekend at the Memphis Invitational. The Lady Bisons tennis team defeats an NCAA Division I team, Southeast Missouri State. Prior to the game, coaches agreed to play by NCAA Division I rules rather than the Division II rules that Harding usually plays under. This meant counting both singles and doubles matches as 1 point apiece. The decision worked out wonderfully as the scoring changes were to Harding's advantage. The Lady Bisons won all 4 singles and lost all 3 doubles matches for a final score of 4-3. The Lady Bisons are now 22-3 for the season. And yesterday was an exciting day in Augusta. The Masters ends and the green jacket goes to Phil Mickelson. And lots of NBA action to cover, including an exciting matchup between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Lakers. Here's more in your Headline Sports.
For Headline Sports, I'm Ray D'Alessio. Final round of the Masters proved to be an exciting one Sunday. Starting off with 4-time champion Tiger Woods bogeying 3 of his first 5 holes, but he shined on the 7th. His second shot on the par 4 falls into the cup for Eagle Woods finishing it at 10 under par and a tie for 4th place. Fellow American Anthony Kim made some noise. Kim with birdie on 16 to move to 12 under par. He finished the round shooting a 65. Englishman Lee Westwood entered the final round with the lead but couldn't hold on. Here he sinks the birdie putt on 13 to move within 2 of the lead. But no doubt the day belonged to Phil Mickelson, lefty from the pine straw and behind the trees on 13. Somehow, some way, the ball finds its way onto the green, leading to a birdie. Then on 18, Mickelson wraps up his 3rd green jacket with a birdie putt, followed by a hug from his wife Amy, who continues to receive treatment for breast cancer. Mickelson finishing at 16 under par, shooting a final round 67. To the NBA now, the Magic held off the King Jameless Cavaliers Sunday, winning 98-92. Dwight Howard led the way for O-Town with 22 points, 13 boards. Orlando tied the season series with Cleveland at 2 games apiece and wrapped up the number 2 spot in the East. LaMarcus Aldridge scored 24 points, grabbed 11 boards to lead Portland over the Lakers 91-88. With the victory, Blazers moved into a tie for 7th place in the West, possibly avoiding the Lake Show in the first round of the playoffs. And finally in Toronto, it was Derrick Rose scoring 26 points to lead the Bulls past the Raptors 104-88. Chicago now with a 1-game lead over Toronto for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. For Headline Sports, I'm Ray DeLessio.
That's all for your sports. Now back to Joshua at the news desk.
Who hasn't seen an amazing feat of idiocracy or called someone the village idiot? Well, a woman in a southern Indiana town can say that she officially has the title of village idiot. Danny Ham earned the title after receiving the most votes from regulars at the Story Inn, a restaurant and bar where she works. Ham's hair caught on fire when her hairspray coated follicles ignited as she lit a cigarette while driving to work. She wasn't injured because she used her hands to douse her hair, which she had coated with a liberal layer of hairspray. Ham might think twice before the next time she lights up.
It was a photo finish at the box office this weekend, but it looks like Date Night came out victorious in its clash with the Titans. CNN has more in the Hollywood Minute.
Steve Carell and Tina Fey took on the Titans and just may have won. Fox's newly released Date Night appears to have narrowly edged out Warner Brothers' Clash of the Titans. Fox estimates Date Night raked in just over $27 million in its opening weekend. Warner Brothers says its 3D Clash of the Titans came in at just under $27 million on its second weekend, giving it a 10-day total of over $110 million in sales. Paramount's How to Train Your Dragon came in third with more than $25 million in box office sales. In 17 days, it's taken in just under $134 million. A Georgia district attorney is expected to make an announcement Monday regarding a 20-year-old woman's claim she was sexually assaulted by Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. The incident allegedly took place in Milledgeville, Georgia on March 4th, when Roethlisberger was in town to celebrate his birthday with friends. The Monday announcement comes following an investigation by the Milledgeville Police and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. For the Hollywood Minute, I'm Paul Chambers.
Well, I haven't seen Date Night yet, but I'm a huge Tina Fey fan.
Me too.
I love 30 Rock. I loved SNL back when she was on there. It's not the same. I love her. She's great.
It's pretty funny.
Now the real question, though, are you a dedicated fan to love Baby Mama?
I have actually not seen that movie. Yeah. So Zach, everything's looking pretty good outside. Is anything coming up in weather, or are we looking good?
Yeah, if we can take a look at the 5-day again, just sunny skies for the next few days and wonderful conditions outside and 80-degree temperatures throughout. So.
All right, things are looking up.
So what about that game on Saturday?
It was a little tough. Saturday and Sunday's games weren't like we'd have hoped for, but tomorrow, you know, weather's looking nice. Head out to Walnut Ridge, catch the game at Williams Baptist. You know, they did well last time we played them in the season. Hopefully they'll be able to do well again.
All right, thank you very much. Well, thanks for joining us tonight on Live at 5 for all your local news, sports, and weather.
From all of us here at TV16, have a great night.